WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Meteorologist Anthony Baglione here, watching the potential for a few light showers on radar here as we head through the rest of today into the early evening hours. High temperatures, though, going to be chilly, only in the upper 40s with mostly cloudy skies. We get into the weekend, highs soar up into the upper 60s to near 70.
3:30 check of your money. Dow Jones today is down 389 points to 42,936.
O'Connell with 1 second, left wing three on the way, banks it in! He got it! I don't believe it!
Jeremy Baxell has Roberts on him into the paint, rises up, big time!
Young throws, he's got Tommy, near side 2-1, touchdown Carolina.
To Ryan, catch and shoot three, right wing, he did it again! Ryan has 27! Anderson makes a save, and it's kept out by Martin! What a save! Martin just robbed
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
It's The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Dennis Cox with you this afternoon. Believe it or not, live for you on 99.9 The Fan. Also live for you on 99.9 The Fan's YouTube page. Saying hello to everyone out there this afternoon, where you can stream the show. By the way, I'm riding solo today. Apparently y'all had too much eggnog. Y'all know who I mean. I'm kidding. But got that little bug that's floating around the office a little bit. It was supposed to be Graham Hill, but he's not. He's a little bit under the weather today. A few people feeling that way. Also PTO, it is that time of year. One's taking vacations and so on. So it's just me. I'm literally the only person from sports radio that is in the building right now. Hold it down. So if you get a long, 10-minute clip that's being played, probably means I have to go use the bathroom. But we'll leave that at that. You just got done listening to the Armed Forces Bowl. By the way, NC State takes on ECU tomorrow. UNC takes on UConn tomorrow. They have their respective bowl games. We'll dive into that here in just a little bit. But when I was watching Navy Oklahoma wrap up here, as we are listening to it here on the Fan, it actually kind of reminded me a bit of when I was a college athlete. Now, granted, I finished my college playing career long time ago. But it reminded me when I heard the head coach of Navy talking about his seniors and so on and so forth. You hear head coaches talking about, these seniors. For seniors going into these kinds of games, for most of them, they know it's their final game. That's something that's lost so much when it comes to transfer portals and recruiting and guys preparing for drafts and opting out of games. People talk about these bowl games not mattering. Maybe for the program as a whole, depending on the year, probably doesn't mean a whole lot. But for a lot of these players, it's the last time they'll put on a uniform in a game. The last time. And it's not just football. Football's not the only one. But the last time you actually get to suit up in a competitive game, these bowl games for a lot of athletes, this is it. This is it. The hardest thing that for me, when I remember I played my final game, it was the final game of our regular season, my senior year. I played lacrosse all 4 years of college, and we actually finished in a three-way tie for the final two spots. So I played lacrosse, only the top four teams made it to the conference tournament. We finished in a three-way tie for the final two spots. Well, one team had to get left out, and unfortunately that was us. I knew when I took my uniform off that final game, I was never putting it back on. And this is not just college athletes. You can go to high school athletes as well that decide not to play college or don't get recruited to play at the college level. I knew when I took that uniform off for the final time, I was never putting it back on. And that was the hardest thing. That was the most difficult thing. So when you talk about bowl games or think about these bowl games, there are way more players that are competing and playing in these events that aren't going to be going on to do this again somewhere else. Just not a reality. You'll even see it in college basketball. end of the regular season, or in this case, be usually conference tournament, but in conference tournaments or even the NCAA tournament, the NIT, for most guys, that's it. Yes, some are going to go to the NBA, some will go to play overseas. For most guys, that's it. You take the uniform off, you're done. Like, just thinking about this, again, the bowl game that we just had, the Armed Forces Bowl. In one moment, you went from player to former player in 1 second. The moment Navy kneeled down, the moment Navy took a knee and the clock hit 0, you went from player to former player. That title changes in 1 second. There's no transition. Either you are or you're not. So a lot of these games, they do matter for a lot of people. But speaking of games this weekend, bowl games, again, as I mentioned a moment ago, we have the Wasabi Fenway Bowl. NC State taking on East Carolina. Well, what's to gain for each of these teams? We're also going to talk about the Pinstripe Bowl. I'm sorry, the Fenway Bowl. My apologies. The Pinstripe Bowl has Nebraska taking on Boston College. But the Fenway Bowl, UNC taking on UConn. We'll dive into that here in just a second. But if you're NC State, your head coach Dave Doeren, you really can't lose this one. You can't lose to an in-state group of 5 school. Now, NC State, for those of you who don't know, actually canceled their trip to App State in the future within the next couple of years because the ACC said it didn't want their schools traveling to group of 5 to play road group of 5 games, which I totally get from the ACC. There's conference perception, etc., all those things. But the thing you don't want to do if you're NC State is lose to a school that has less resources than you, that's 75 minutes down the road, and the last thing you want to do is finish the year 6-7, below 500. It was a grind just to get to 6-6 if you're NC State. If anything, NC State probably has the least to gain in all of this. You're supposed to beat East Carolina. You're supposed to beat ECU. One thing that you can focus on, though, if you're NC State, get more reps for CJ Bailey in your offense. It looks like, by all accounts, Robert and I is going to be back. By all accounts, Robert and I is going to be back. Okay, good thing. Can't complain about that. If you're NC State, well, maybe you could. But Robert and I looks like he's going to be back as your offensive coordinator. Okay, figure this stuff out. You still have a true freshman quarterback. What are they going to do? Get more targets for Noah Rogers. Jonathan Paylor, who transferred in, only played a couple of games this season. Get more reps for those guys. But also try and figure some different things out. Try some different things. Don't be afraid to be aggressive. Heck, Oklahoma came up short in their game against Navy, but they went for a 2-point conversion and the win at the end of the game as opposed to kicking a PAT and going into overtime. So at least they went for it. I respect that. Try some different stuff. Heck, again, I'll go back to the Oklahoma-Navy game. Navy forces a turnover on an Oklahoma kick return. They get the ball back. What's the first thing that they try and do? They go flea flicker. Now, the quarterback missed the throw. It should have been a touchdown, but you went for it. You tried something. As soon as Oklahoma got the ball back after the missed field goal from Navy, first play, flea flicker. Why not? Try some different stuff. Have a little fun with it. But also, this is an opportunity for you if you're NC State. Go to CJ Bailey and say, hey, what throws do you feel like you struggle with? What throws? Is it the deep out routes? Hey, maybe you know what? Hey, Coach, that 12-yard in-breaking route, that dagger, I have trouble seeing it. Or this route concept, I'm struggle with it a little bit. But also, when you watch the film and say, hey, okay, he struggles with X, Y, Z, lean into it. Call some of those types of plays for him to work on. Do that. Be intentional about these things. Same thing. Go to your wide receivers, your running backs, your tight ends. Hey, what routes do you want to work on? Where do you feel like your game is weak? Hey, you know what, Coach? I think I struggle with catching passes over the middle. I feel like I'm really good on these short and intermediate routes. I feel like I have the speed to try and take some shots deep, or at least Try something, a contested 50-50 catch. All right, let's work on it. Let's call some routes where you run that. It even could be for Bailey at the line of scrimmage to have more control. Hey, we're going to give you 2 plays in the huddle. Check to the second one if you need to, depending on what you see. Do those things. This is a chance for you to work on it. Again, do not be afraid to try some different stuff. If you're Robert and I, if you're Dave Doran, don't be conservative in this one. That doesn't help you. Try some different stuff. Do not be afraid to be aggressive. Heck, go 5 wide. Put Hollywood Smothers in the slot. See how you handle it. Hey, you know what? Can we go 2-minute drill with this group? If we got Noah Rogers out on the outside and Justin Jolie and we got Hollywood Smothers and other guys, Wesley Grimes, let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do. Try some different stuff out. Even doing the same thing defensively. Who knows? I mean, still got question about what you're going to be doing defensively. Defensive coordinator still got to figure those things out. Try 4-man front. Go 4-2 as opposed to 3-3. Try different stuff. Do different things. It's okay. Obviously, if you're NC State, you still want to win the game. The last thing you want to do is, again, lose to an in-state school that's right down the road from you. That's a group of 5. Speaking of ECU has everything to gain, right? If you lose to NC State, if you're the Pirates, well, you're supposed to lose to NC State. You're a group of 5 school playing against a power conference school. You're supposed to lose, right? Isn't that what's supposed to happen? But if you're head coach Blake Harrell, who took over from Mike Houston midway through the season as the interim head coach after Houston was fired, and he earned the head coaching job, there's everything to gain at this game. Now, I know that ECU gets picked apart. These group of 5 schools, they get picked apart in the transfer portal. We'll dive into that here in just a little bit. They get picked apart. But imagine if you're Harrell going into the home of, let's say, a 3-star recruit in the state of North Carolina. Let's just use an area, let's say Rocky Mount. There's a kid out in Rocky Mount, 3-star recruit. Imagine being able to walk into that player's house and tell them, hey, you can shine here. We play better football than them. We just proved it on the field. We just beat them. We play better football than them. We just beat them. You get a chance to actually shine and play here. We got a bunch of spots opening up. Chance to play right away. You don't have to sit behind that 5-star or that 4-star that's over there. You can come play over here right now. And also you can say, heck, we got a defensive back that's probably going to be picked in the first round, even though having torn his ACL. So guess what? You can still make it to the league from here. Hey, did you watch the Baltimore Ravens play on Christmas Day? Yeah, Keaton Mitchell for the Ravens, who's playing. Yeah, he went right here. And we'll also make sure that you have enough NIL money to keep you happy. That's what an ECU win can do. Now, I understand ECU, they don't have the resources that a group of 5 school does. They don't have the resources that NC State does, and let's be honest, NC State doesn't have the resources of other power conference schools. But ECU has everything to gain in this. They're 7-5 right now. Imagine Blake Harrell can say, hey, guys, we're an 8-win team. 8-win team. The only school right now, off the top of my head, that I can remember that has more wins than ECU right now in the state of North Carolina is Duke. That's it. It's Duke. UNC 6 wins. NC State 6. Charlotte didn't get there. App didn't get there. There is so much to gain to get to if you get to 8 wins. App went 5-6. You had that game canceled against Liberty because of Hurricane Helene. But if you're ECU, you could say that, hey, the only team that's better than us in this state is Duke. which Duke, they have to play Ole Miss. That's on January 2nd. We'll dive in more into that next week. But everything for East Carolina to game. Have an 8-5 year for ECU with a coaching change. Everything to gain if you're East Carolina. It's The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Dennis Cox sitting with you this afternoon. Riding solo. No producer today. I'm sitting here behind the board. I'm running things myself. Doing it all. One-man show. By the way, you can follow us on our YouTube live stream, by the way. So make sure that you tap in and watch there. Leave your thoughts in the comments section, by the way, on ECU, on App, on NC State, UNC. Speaking of UNC, taking on UConn this weekend. It's all about the change over to Bill Belichick for North Carolina. Bill Belichick going to North Carolina, going to UNC, has just been the biggest thing going on in terms of sports world, or at least it was the talk of the sports world for a couple of weeks. Your name and your face are everywhere. And guess what? At 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, you're going to be everywhere, which, by the way, you can listen to that game right here on 99.9 The Fan. But Bill Belichick, who has said that interim coach Freddie Kitchens will be retained on his staff. Freddie Kitchens was part of Mac Brown's staff. Bill Belichick said Freddie Kitchens, who has a ton of NFL coaching experience, is going to be on his staff. He will be retained. So obviously Bill Belichick is going to be evaluating his players closely. But here's the thing. I have no doubts whatsoever, that Bill Belichick has been telling Freddie Kitchens how to run the bowl practices, establishing different concepts, routines, preparation, all those things this past month. No doubt about it. Because if you're Bill Belichick, why would you want Freddie Kitchens to just be doing the same thing that they were doing before? Because if UNC wanted the same thing they were doing before, they never would have let go of Mac Brown. This past month, Belichick's standards, expectations are already being established before he's even run a practice. I'm curious to see what things look like on the field. Chip Lindsey, their offensive coordinator, is gone. Omarion Hampton's going to be going into the NFL, so you're not going to have Omarion Hampton. So really, who's going to be calling plays? Are they going to try and install something a bit different? What exactly is this offense going to look like? What is this team going to look like? This is something I feel like UNC might have a leg up on other programs who are getting new coaches during the bowl season, because knowing that Freddie Kitchens is going to be retained, Freddie Kitchens knowing exactly what Bill Belichick wants in terms of, again, practicing, preparation, all those things, I have no doubt with that NFL experience, I have no doubt that gives them a little bit of a leg up. No doubt. And it's a great opportunity for Bill Belichick to really evaluate his players on top of what they've been doing at practice. I mean, no doubt that Bill Belichick's observing practice, watching the practice film, and evaluating the guys that are already there. Heck, there are a bunch of guys that were in the transfer portal for North Carolina that said, actually, I'm taking my name out of the portal. I'm coming back. It's going to be a fun time. Fun time for Carolina football. Fun time. And for these players that are playing, you got stuff to prove. You got a new head coach coming in who wants to completely change how things have been run. You got to show something. You have to show something if you're North Carolina. These players individually. Hey, I'm worthy of playing. The person that was in front of you on the depth chart maybe did stay in the transfer portal, maybe isn't playing due to injury, whatever it might be. Here's your shot. Your shot to prove something. Go do it. That's something that every player wants. And this is the reason why I think a lot of players go into the transfer portal. It's not just money. If you're a backup quarterback going into the transfer portal, it ain't because of cash. You want a chance to play somewhere. That's really it. You want to play. Now, for some guys, okay, it is about money. All right, that's fine. It's what it is. But for a lot of these guys, They just want to play. There's a finite amount of time. Like I started this show 20 minutes ago saying, there's a finite amount of time that you actually get to put on a uniform and play. It's finite. You don't get to keep doing it for the rest of your life. Even for other sports, again, I played lacrosse. I played in some tournaments and club leagues and stuff after I graduated college. It ain't the same. Not even close. For football players, we just really don't. I mean, there's the quote-unquote semi-pro stuff. It's dumb. But you don't get to keep playing football after this, really. You just don't. There's a finite amount of time. So I do not blame players for wanting a chance to go play somewhere. And for players that have been sitting behind on the depth chart, second and third team, now you get a chance to show something in the bowl game. Everyone wants a chance to prove themselves. This is not just athletes. It's any profession. For you that are driving around listening to this right now, maybe listening at home or watching, everyone wants a chance to prove themselves in their line of work, that wants to get a promotion, that wants to move up the chain. Everyone wants that shot. These players, these young guys, they're no different. No different than me and you. Think about what you do for work. And you know what? I want that upper management role. I want to go from mid-management to upper management. You want to take on that responsibility. You want that promotion. That's what you want in your job. Now, you might be sitting exactly where you want to be, and you're content. That's fine, too. But for most people, they want to move up in the world. They want to move up to something higher. They want something more. They want something better. These players are no different. That's the reason why a lot of these guys transfer. Sure, again, there's money out there. I totally get it. I actually heard about a player in the SEC. I was kind of told this through the grapevine, but a player in the SEC who is a starter at an SEC school was offered north of $1.3 million to transfer to another SEC school. Heard that from him. Now, again, that might have been an agent or somebody trying to work the deal. And I mean, no guarantee that money is actually true. Yeah, these guys get pulled in every direction. But there are a lot of guys, again, second on the depth chart, third on the depth chart. It's no different than when you go to the NFL. Hey, I want a chance to play. I want a chance to earn more. I want a chance to play more. For guys at UNC, here's your chance. You got Bill Belichick to show it. You have Bill Belichick to show it to him. So there's a ton, I think, for UNC to play for this weekend as a program, because this really is the launching point for the Bill Belichick era. This is really the launching point. It's The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Dennis Cox here with you this afternoon. A couple programming notes for you today. The start time of this show was a little bit up in the air because of the Armed Forces Bowl with Oklahoma and Navy. And heck, if Oklahoma decided to kick a PAT as opposed to going for a 2-point conversion, they might still be in overtimes. Heck, Toledo and Pitt went to 8 overtimes just last night. Game took about 5.5 hours. Crazy. That's bowl season, folks. Is what you're going to get. We will have, again, it's a hockey night in Carolina. The Carolina Hurricanes are in action tonight. They are on the road taking on the New Jersey Devils. So that game is actually going to be at 7 o'clock tonight here on The Fan. Adam will go with Stormwatch at 6:30 this evening, so make sure you stay locked in for a hockey night in Carolina. Our first goal scorer prediction, we will actually do that at 4:45. We're going to do that at 4:45. I normally we do that at 4:33, but with me riding solo, I can't quite answer the phones while also being live on air. So I have to do that during a little bit of a commercial break, just a little bit of letting you know how the sausage is made. But we're going to have that at 4:45 today, okay? We're going to have that at 4:45 today. But on the other side, the Carolina Panthers are in action this Sunday, trying to avenge a 23-20 loss against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, something that they suffered just a few weeks ago at Bank of America Stadium. We're going to have a little conversation about why. Why do the Carolina Panthers need to win this game? I know a lot of people are thinking about, hey, what about their draft position? It's more than that, folks. We'll have that conversation coming up next on The Drive.
Tonight's forecast calls for Hurricanes hockey.
Stahl powers one out in front. The score! And this line is delivering the presents around Christmas.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 6:30. Puck drop at 7.
Aho sends it across. Robinson back to Aho. They score! Roll the highlight reel, Sebastian Aho. Merry Christmas!
On your exclusive home for the Carolina Hurricanes, 99.9 The Fan.
It's bow time. 'Tis the season for food and family, but thanks to Bojangles, you don't have to spend hours in the kitchen when loved ones come home for the holidays. Set down the spatula and put away the mixing bowls, because this holiday season, Bojangles is ready to help you celebrate with all your family favorites like Chicken Supreme, Cajun Filet Biscuits, or a big bow box of hand-breaded chicken, scratch-made biscuits, and fixins for the whole family. We'll make the food so you can focus on making memories. Head to Bojangles and gift yourself a taste of home. It's bow time.
If it's ho-ho-ho time, it's Bo-Bo-Bo time. Time to order a party-sized platter of that bodacious Bojangles flavor before your next holiday celebration. Choose a Bojangles Supremes platter and get 50 whole breast tenderloin fillets. Or go with a Bojangles dessert platter and get 2 dozen Bo-Berry biscuits, 2 dozen cinnamon twists, or 1 dozen of each. It's a platter full of Bo-liciousness. And don't forget to pick up Bojangles gift cards. Just the right gift for anyone on your list. Hurry, it's Bo time.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8157. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-8157. That's 800-575-8157.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Introducing a product that redefines living well.
Luxury.
Designed to satisfy your wildest desires.
Extravagance.
Overflowing with suspense. Dripping with wealth.
Fortune.
The $8 million moneymaker from the North Carolina Education Lottery. With prizes that start at $100 and go up to $8 million. Every win's a big win.
Whisper.
Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 4.14. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Martha was ready to switch to a career in IT.
There's always a need for IT specialists, especially with AI coming out and cybersecurity. It's practically recession-proof.
My Computer Career even provides job placement help.
The career specialists, they're very helpful. They care about you as a person. You're not just a number to them. I would recommend My Computer Career wholeheartedly to anyone.
Take the free career evaluation today. Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. Not available in Washington State.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Anthony Baglione, watching still the potential for a few light showers on radar here as we head through the next couple of hours. Otherwise, though, a lot of cloud cover through the rest of today with high temperatures only in the upper 40s. We are close to, if not at 70, though, as we head through the weekend.
4 o'clock check of your money here on The Fan. Dow Jones is down 396 points to 42,929.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
It's The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Dennis Cox with you this afternoon, getting you set for the rest of your weekend. It's a hockey night in Carolina. By the way, Dennis Cox here with you again, riding solo today. Riding solo. Tim is out. He's on PTO. Graham's a little under the weather. Even our boss man, Paul's a little under the weather. Adam, Victoria on PTO. It's just me. Just riding solo with you guys. But that's fine. We're here today getting you ready for the football weekend. Getting ready for the sports weekend. It's not only the Carolina Panthers in action, we have NC State taking on East Carolina. We also have UNC taking on UConn. Those are both their college football games. UNC's back on the hardwood this weekend. They take on Campbell. It's a nice little in-state matchup this coming Sunday. But let's actually go ahead and dive into the Carolina Panthers real fast. And this has actually been a debate going on amongst Panther fans for several weeks now. Is it better to lose? Is it better to lose? I know some people will say, hey, let's make sure they still are competitive. Let's have them play close and then come up just short. That way we can still keep our high draft pick. Still keep that high draft pick. I get it. I totally get it because you still want to be competitive in games. You still want guys to compete all the way to the end, but you still want to have that high draft pick. You still want that top 5 draft pick. I get it. I get your point. But I bring up this. For a first-year head coach in Dave Canales, for a second-year quarterback in Bryce Young, and for all the young pieces that this team has, from rookies all across the offense, from Xavier Legette, Jalen Coker, JT Sanders, young players like Ike Ekwonu, those are guys just on your offense. Go on the defensive side of the ball. For guys like J.C. Horn, I mean, I know Derek Brown's not playing, but he's still around the team. Still see him on the sideline. Still see him in the locker room. These guys that haven't experienced winning in Carolina yet, don't you want them to learn how to win? To feel that, to feel the culture change, to really buy in on the culture change of what Dave Canales is doing, to be rewarded for doing all the things they're being asked to do by their head coach? Think about what some of these guys have gone through from, gosh, even just a couple of years ago. Ike Ekwonu in his 3rd year. He was drafted by Matt Rule. Then had Steve Wilkes as an interim head coach. Then Frank Reich came in. That was a disaster, and he got let go after 11 games. Then Dave Canales comes in. Don't forget, Chris Tabor was the interim head coach. For a guy like Ike Ekwonu, who's in his 3rd year in the league, he's had 5 people that he's looked at and that have been head coach, including Dave Canales. 5. J.C. Horn, same thing. He's in his 4th year. Drafted under Matt Rule. Saw him get fired. Steve Wilkes come in. Frank Reich, then Chris Tabor, and now Dave Canales. That's all these guys have experienced. Tommy Tremble, Chuba Hubbard, same thing. If you want these guys to buy into the culture, you want to change the culture of this team and the perception of this team to the outside world, because you still got to sign free agents. You still want people to buy into what you're doing. Well, doesn't winning change that? Doesn't the reward of learning how to win as young players, as a young coach with a young team, learning how to win is much more vital for the long-term health of this franchise and this team than one player. Whether you pick at 5 or you pick at 9. One player at the top of the draft or high in the draft isn't going to save your team, isn't going to just take this team all of a sudden from 4 wins or 5 wins to 10. One player is not going to do that. Heck, people thought that with Bryce Young. That's the reason why the Panthers traded so much to move up to get one guy. And guess what? He can't do it all by himself. So if you think that a guy coming in at pick 4 or pick 5 is just going to instantly change the fortunes of this team right away, that's not the case. You actually truly have buy-in from the players. And the fact that they're being rewarded with wins in these close games, or at least wins in some of these close games, is good for them. Look at 6 of the last 7 games for the Carolina Panthers. 6 of the last 7 games have been decided by 1 possession or less. The last 7 games, you beat the Saints by a point, 23-22 at home. The following week, you play in Germany against the New York Giants. You win that one by a field goal in overtime. You had a bye week. You come back. You play the Kansas City Chiefs down to the wire. Down to the wire. Chiefs kicked a field goal as time expired. Bucks, you go to overtime, a game that you had a chance to win and put that game away in regulation, goes to overtime, you lose in OT. You play against the Philadelphia Eagles on the road. That's the difference in the Eagles game as opposed to the previous four. You actually were playing a true road game, and you had a chance to do it. You had a chance to take a lead late in that game. You want your young players like Xavier Legette to learn how to make that catch. You want to learn what the feeling of winning is like. Then, you had the disaster game against the Dallas Cowboys. And then the following week, you come back, you bounce back against the Arizona Cardinals. You let it slip away a little bit, but you come out with a win in overtime. All those games are actually not decided just by one possession or less. I mean, you lost by 6 to the Eagles. So, yeah, it's all one possession or less with the exception of that Dallas game. So, of the 6 close games, you've won 3 of them. That's good. It's good for a young team, again, learning how to win. But imagine in the future, if you weren't learning how to win, how to close games out, if you just kept losing, then guess what? You're not being rewarded for what you're actually doing. You're not actually learning how to win if you just keep coming up just short. You're not learning anything by that. Yes, it's good to have live reps of 2-minute drives late in the game for Bryce Young. It's good to have that for play calling, for Dave Canales in those situations. Learning how to handle the moment. But if you keep losing, you're not really learning how to handle it. You're just learning how to lose close. Coming up just short and losing is still losing. And that's the thing you're trying to get out of these guys' heads is losing. That's all they've experienced. It's the 7th straight year of losing football in Charlotte. 7 straight seasons of it. If you want to break away from it, you can't keep asking for losses. You can't. You got to let Bryce Young and the defense and all these guys learn how to put games away. I'll even go back to the Arizona game. I caught some flack for this because apparently it was too difficult on the Carolina Panthers on their final drive. Hey, they still got to win. Yeah, they did, but they should have put that game away in regulation, and they didn't. That's the things I want them to learn how to do. Bryce Young, coming out of the 2-minute warning. You complete that pass to Dan Chizina, you walk off with the win. He missed the throw. You want him to learn how to make that throw. You want him to make that throw. Because I guarantee you, if they're fighting for a playoff spot in the next year or two, and they need to pick up that first down to close out a game, you want them to have experienced that already. Learning how to win. Imagine, the Bucs are a winnable game. I know the defense has been terrible this season and they got a bunch of injuries. I get it. We have a chance to get one back on the road. Actually, Adam Thielen, wide receiver for the Carolina Panthers, talked about getting a win this Sunday.
For us is just all the hard work, all the kind of tough moments or whatever we've had through the season, through the last few years. Those moments all feel a lot better when you can get a W. All the hard work kind of paying off. So for us, I think it's more about just getting that win and how important that is for an organization. Like we talked about momentum, what that can do for an organization, for a team, for individuals having success. So really focused on that, not necessarily what you're doing to another team.
Yes. Experience success. You can't be successful if the thing you keep wanting is failure. As cliche as that sounds, I just said that off the top of my head. But he's right. That's Adam Thielen, who's been around the block in this league for a long time, who's been on both sides of it. These players have to experience that feeling of winning and learning how to do it in tight games. Imagine if against the Bucs, when you had a chance to put things away in regulation, that you come out with that win. Part of that's also, hey, Eddie Pinheiro missed some kicks. Imagine if Xavier Legette comes down with that catch against the Philadelphia Eagles. Plays are right there. The plays are right there. Have that feeling of actually securing that play. as opposed to 4-11. Okay, you're 6-9. Nice. Imagine you win the next two. 8-9. That's how razor thin these margins are in the league. That's how razor thin they are. Those three one possession losses that I mentioned, Chiefs, Bucks, Eagles. Imagine those three are wins. You're 7-8. You're 7-8. You're 7-8 with a chance to win the division. For this team, with their roster, again, that's how razor thin things are. Could you imagine 7-8 with a chance to win the division? Because you have 2 divisional games to close out the year. If you're a Panther fan, in my opinion, you should want this team to win. It's for the betterment of this franchise in the long run. Now, if you want to talk about, again, better draft picks and things like that, I completely understand it. But I'm tired of losses. I'm tired of seeing this team lose. I don't expect a top 7 or 8 pick to be the savior of a franchise. It's not how it works. If you can't find a great player at pick 10, then you should not be a GM, Dan Morgan, if you can't find a great player at pick 10. Last time I checked, wasn't the Micah Parsons who just tore up Carolina a couple weeks ago? Remember correctly, it was pick 11? Yeah, you can find great players there too. It's The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Again, the Carolina Panthers are in action this Sunday, 1 o'clock. You can listen to that game over on Buzz Sports Radio. On the other side, we'll have our Panthers Paw Print, but also this ACC basketball coach just quit on his team. We'll discuss that next.
Tonight's forecast calls for Hurricanes hockey.
Stahl powers one out in front. The score! And this line is delivering the presents around Christmas.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 6:30. Puck drop at 7.
Aho sends it across. Robinson back to Aho. They score! Roll the highlight reel, Sebastian Aho. Merry Christmas!
On your exclusive home for the Carolina Hurricanes, 99.9 The Fan.
It's bow time. 'Tis the season for food and family, but thanks to Bojangles, you don't have to spend hours in the kitchen when loved ones come home for the holidays. Set down the spatula and put away the mixing bowls, because this holiday season, Bojangles is ready to help you celebrate with all your family favorites like Chicken Supreme, Cajun Filet Biscuits, or a big bow box of hand-breaded chicken, scratch-made biscuits, and fixins for the whole family. We'll make the food so you can focus on making memories. Head to Bojangles and gift yourself a taste of home. It's bow time.
If it's ho-ho-ho time, it's Bo time. Time to order a party-sized platter of that bodacious Bojangles flavor before your next holiday celebration. Choose a Bojangles Supremes platter and get 50 whole breast tenderloin fillets. Or go with a Bojangles dessert platter and get 2 dozen Bo-Berry biscuits, 2 dozen cinnamon twists, or 1 dozen of each. It's a platter full of Bo-liciousness. And don't forget to pick up Bojangles gift cards. Just the right gift for anyone on your list. Hurry, it's Bo time.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8157. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-8157. That's 800-575-8157.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Introducing a product that redefines living well.
Luxury.
Designed to satisfy your wildest desires.
Extravagance.
Overflowing with suspense, dripping with wealth.
Fortune.
The $8 million moneymaker from the North Carolina Education Lottery. With prizes that start at $100 and go up to $8 million. Every win's a big win.
Whisper.
Must be To play, approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 4.14. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Martha was ready to switch to a career in IT.
There's always a need for IT specialists, especially with AI coming out and cybersecurity. It's practically recession-proof.
My Computer Career even provides job placement help.
The career specialists, they're very helpful. They care about you as a person. You're not just a number to them. I would recommend My Computer Career wholeheartedly to anyone.
Take the free career evaluation today. Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. Not available in Washington State.
So Jim Larranaga quit on his team. Call it what it is. Jim Larranaga quit on his team. Dennis Cox with you this afternoon. It's The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Dennis Cox sitting in for Tim this afternoon. Actually, I'm also fulfilling the role of me being a producer. I'm also doing that too at the same time. I'm sitting here behind the board talking to each and every one of you. By the way, I hope everyone is having a safe and fun and wonderful holiday. Hope you had a chance to spend time with family and loved ones. I had a chance to do that. I'm grateful that my sister and brother-in-law live here in Raleigh. My parents came down, so I got to spend time with them. It was an absolutely wonderful time being able to see them and share this holiday time with them. And still get to see them a little bit tomorrow. I'm very much looking forward to that. By the way, we do have Canes hockey. It's a hockey night in Carolina. Canes are on the road in New Jersey taking on the Devils today, and they'll be back home against the Devils tomorrow at Club Lenovo at the Lenovo Center. So we will have Storm Watch with Adam Gold coming up at 6:30 today. Do you think Rob Brindamore will quit midseason? We all know the answer to that. No, he's not. Jim Larranaga, if you may have missed this yesterday because you were drinking a lot of eggnog or whatever it might be, enjoying your holiday presents, Jim Larranaga, the head men's basketball coach from Miami, resigned. I'm going to go air quotes, resigned. Let's call it what it is. He quit. Here's actually Jim Larranaga yesterday talking about why he's leaving Miami right now.
There's one thing you got to constantly ask yourself. Are you going to give everything you have, the commitment that it deserves, 100% of yourself, physically, mentally, emotionally? But I'm exhausted. I've tried every which way to keep this going.
Hey, look, I get it. I coached college lacrosse for 9 years. You start early January, and it ends sometime in May, depending on if you go to the NCAA tournament and stuff. I'm not going to lie. There are times it'll be like 2 months into the season, and I'm like, oh, God, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? You hit that point during every season. I get it. But your timing stinks, dude. Larranaga, your timing stinks. Quitting in the middle of the year? I get you don't want to do it anymore. It's too exhausting. I understand that. But don't quit on your team midseason. Don't. Now, if you want to tell the administration and others that, hey, it's my last year, I can't keep doing this, I'm going to ride it out the rest of this year, you tell your assistants that, hey, I'm going to need a little bit more from you guys. This is what I'm feeling, but I'm not going to quit on this team. These young guys don't deserve that. Not in the middle of the season. Okay, cool. Respect for that. That's fine. Heck, just a couple of years ago when Mike Bray, the former Notre Dame men's basketball coach, we knew it was his final year. Heck, we even knew with Coach K that it was his final year, that he was leaving. I have no problem with that. Not saying you got to do the whole retirement tour thing. That's a different conversation. But not quitting on your team in the middle of the season. But Jim Larranaga expounded on why he could not continue doing what he's doing.
What shocked me beyond belief was after we made it to the Final Four, just 18 months ago, the very first time I met with the players, 8 of them decided they were going to put their name in the portal and leave. I said, don't you like it yet? No, I love it. I love Miami. It's great. But the opportunity to make money someplace else created a situation that you have to begin to ask yourself as a coach, what is this all about? And the answer is it's become professional.
Okay, he's not wrong in that sense. It's becoming professional. Players having the opportunity to leave and go other places. I get that. Something to keep in mind when it comes to scholarships in the NCAA. And this is something that I feel is so forgotten and is constantly overlooked when it comes to athletic scholarships in the NCAA. Scholarships for athletes are good for 1 year. It's not a 4-year scholarship or a 5-year in case you're going to redshirt or whatever it might be. They are 1-year scholarships that are renewed each academic year. So they're 1-year commitments from both the player and the school. They're 1-year commitments. You don't have to renew a player's scholarship. You don't have to. Not every sport also is a head count sport. By head count sport, it means, for example, I know the rosters are changing in football, but I'm going to go with the old 85 scholarships for Division I football, or at least for FBS. 85 scholarships, 85 players get 85 scholarships. Basketball, 13 players get 13 scholarships. Whereas other sports like lacrosse or baseball or others, you have the equivalent of that much scholarships that you can divvy up amongst your players. And that number can increase or decrease from year to year. I had a friend of mine who played lacrosse at Penn State. First 2 years that he played, got about half of his scholarship or half of his tuition was athletic scholarship. And then eventually by his senior year, he got close to a full ride. Then he got some other academic grants to kind of supplement the rest. So yeah, that's other sports are different like that. It is not 4 years of commitment. Scholarship is 1 year. That's all the length of a scholarship is. So let's keep that in mind when it comes to transfer portal and those kinds of things. And what Larranaga said, I get it. I understand. Things have changed. It's far from easy. Heck, I'm glad I got out of coaching when I did. I've talked to coaches about the revenue sharing that's coming up in 2025, starting at the 2025 academic year, so fall next year. So many coaches, now they know they have X amount of dollars. Let's say a basketball coach has X amount of dollars. We know UNC football is going to have $13 million in revenue sharing. We saw that in Bill Belichick's contract, $13 million of revenue sharing. So now they're not only recruiting a player, they're also telling that player how much they're going to be making in revenue share. So you're assigning a monetary value to them, which isn't easy. That's not easy. I get it. It's not what Larranaga signed up for in that regard. The dude's been doing this for like the better part of 50 years. But Larranaga has gotten players from the transfer portal. He's gotten starters from the transfer portal. Jordan Miller from their Final Four team transferred in from George Mason the year before. Norchad Omier, a transfer from Arkansas State. You want to tell me NIL wasn't used to bring these guys in? It's not like he hasn't played the game before. But to quit on your team mid-season? Hey, at least Tony Bennett had the guts to do it before the season started. You ride it out. Tell the administration. Make sure your coaches know. Make sure that they know, hey, you know what? This is going to be it for me. I can't do this. I don't want to do this anymore. It's exhausting. And yeah, it is exhausting. It is. It was exhausting before there was the transfer portal, what it is, before there was NIL, before there was revenue sharing. It was exhausting before then. But to cop out in the middle of the season, come on. That's weak. That's weak. If your team wasn't 4-8, would you do it? If your team wasn't 4-8, would you be bowing out right now? That's a question that I have. It's The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan, which Dennis Cox sitting in for Tim this afternoon. By the way, thinking about the ACC, we had a conversation a few weeks back, actually, a couple months ago, I should say. going into ACC kickoff because Roy Williams had retired, Coach K retired, Tony Bennett retired just before the season. So Roy, K, Bennett, Boeheim all had retired already, had all left from coaching. And we had a conversation of, well, then who's the best coach in the ACC right now? And we kind of came to the determination of Jim Larranaga might be that guy. But now Larranaga's not there anymore. Who is the best coach in the ACC? Who is that notable name or names? I mean, probably Shire at Duke along with Roy Williams, just because of being at Duke at Carolina. I'm sorry, Hubert Davis, my apologies. Hubert Davis, having coached under Roy Williams, has that legacy of being part of UNC for a long time. There's the name already attached to it. He's been to a national championship game, has Hubert Davis. So maybe there's that. I mean, Shire, obviously, great Duke player, recognizable name. Got to a heck of a start here this season for Duke. Been to an Elite Eight already in just a couple seasons. But look at the coaches who have left in the last 4 calendar years. So I'm talking the calendar year of 2021, 22, 23, and now 2024. I'll remember the exact day. It was April 1st, 2021. Roy Williams saying, it was announced that, hey, he's leaving. I remember vividly because, good April Fool's joke, April 1st. And then you're like, oh, wait a second, this is real. UNC's calling a press conference. What is going on? So again, you look at the coaches that have left in the last 4 calendar years. Roy left in 2021. Coach K left in 2022. Boeheim in 2023. And now Tony Bennett and Jim Larranaga in 2024. Roy Williams, just at North Carolina alone, 10 Sweet 16s, 8 Elite Eights, 5 Final Fours, 3 national championships, was AP Coach of the Year in 2006. Had 731 seasons. Add on top of that, all the Final Fours, et cetera, that he did at Kansas. 9 Sweet 16s at Kansas, 5 Elite Eights, 4 Final Fours. Got to a couple national championship games, didn't win a title, but still got there. Then you throw on top of that, Coach K leaving. That's 26 Sweet 16s, 17 Elite Eights, 13 Final Fours, 5 national championships. And Coach of the Year honors, those kinds of things. Heck, Tony Bennett at Virginia started in 09-2010 season. 3 Sweet 16s, 2 Elite Eights, a Final Four, won a national championship. And even at Washington State, he had a Sweet 16. Boeheim at Syracuse. Now, a lot of this came in the Big East when Syracuse was part of the Big East before they switched over to the ACC. But 20 Sweet 16s, 7 Elite Eights, 5 Final Fours, a national championship. Larranaga got to Miami in the 2011-2012 season. 4 Sweet 16s, 2 Elite Eights, a Final Four. Also had that Final Four run at George Mason. Between those 5 guys, 73 Sweet 16s, 41 Elite Eights, 30 Final Fours, 11 national championships. Among those 5 guys. Those 5 guys have all left in the last 4 calendar years. ACC basketball was the cream of the crop when it came to coaches. No one could sniff that. No other conference could sniff the resume of these guys. No one. No conference can sit there and say they had that. So now, to me, the ACC in terms of basketball is at a pretty vital position right now. Pretty vulnerable position, too. I mean, we're an ACC country. We know how good the conference is. But let's be honest. It's slipped a bit. It has slipped a bit over the last couple of years. Now it's not slipped as much down to like, oh, the Mountain West is better. Get that crap out of here. But let's be honest. The ACC, it's slipped a little bit. And part of it is because these guys aren't there anymore. These guys being these coaches. That is the best of the best when it comes to coaching. And we had it here. We had it here in our conference, in our area. So who's next? Who takes the reins? who becomes the face of ACC basketball? Because for a long time, it was those guys. And even more prominently among those two, Roy and Kay. Who takes that over now? Because when Roy and Kay left, then it was Tony Bennett. And also Jim Boeheim. But Boeheim left. Now Bennett. Now Larranaga. That's hundreds of wins. And all the stuff I other mentioned as well just a moment ago. 73 Sweet 16s. 41 Elite Eights. 30 Final Fours. 11 national titles. For so long, because you had those coaches in this conference, you were able to get some of the best players in the country. Not saying that UNC and Duke and some of these other schools aren't getting the best players. There's a reason why Cooper Flagg is at Duke. There's a reason why some of these top NBA prospects are still coming through this area. But I'm talking about the other schools. When was the last time you saw like a really dominant Syracuse player? Been a minute. Heck, at least Tony Bennett a couple years ago, he had 4 guys get drafted in 2019. He had 4 guys that he had coached get drafted in 2019. Including one go 4th overall. So at least they still had guys that they were producing at that high level. Now I'm curious as to see what this conference is going to look like going forward. Because the perception of this conference, the perception of the ACC as a whole is, oh, you're a basketball conference. But then people look at their basketball and say, it's not as what it used to be. It's not as good. It's not as good. And part of that is these guys leaving. Because they always got the benefit of the doubt. They always did. Even if you had like an okay team, they still got the benefit of the doubt because of their legacy and who they were and their resume and their past. The vital point for the ACC. But man, the door is wide open. The door is wide open for Shire, for Hubert, for Keats to really take over this conference. The door is wide open. Let's see who takes it. It's The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9. The Fan, Dennis Cox sitting in here with you. We talked a little bit about Carolina Panthers just a moment ago, but this time we do it every single Friday. It's time for the Paw Print. Paw Print presented by Carolina Ford Dealers. With the Ford F-150 on your team, it's game on. See your Carolina Ford dealer today. So a couple players to keep in mind when it comes to the Carolina Panthers this weekend. So just 2 players to keep in mind. My first one, Xavier Legette. The rookie first-round pick, he is back this week. Dave Canales said he fully expects Legette to play. He practiced this week. They gave him a little bit more of a workload each and every single day. Handled everything perfectly well. Body's feeling good. As long as body's feeling all right on Sunday, he's going to be playing. If I remember correctly, this might be the first time, because I know when Adam Thielen came back, Jalen Coker, the rookie undrafted free agent out of Holy Cross, was dealing with a quad injury, so he was out. And then he came back, but then Legette actually comes in, but Legette ends up getting hurt a little bit. Hopefully, we actually get to see a full game of Legette, Coker, and Adam Thielen out there on the field together. Because I have no doubt those 3 guys are going to be on the team next year. I mean, no doubt Coker and Legette, obviously, because they're rookies. But Adam Thielen's under contract next year as well. Want to see that guy get back on the field. Hopefully Carolina adds into that mix next year. But hey, Xavier Legette, been dealing with a few different things. It's like a hip groin injury that he's been dealing with. He's also had a wrist injury that he's been battling. I think that wrist injury even goes back to college. I think that might be a reason for some of the drops that he's had. Been dealing with that. But Xavier Legette is back on the field. But next person to watch out here on the Panthers Paw Print, brought to you by Carolina Ford Dealers, It's whomever is playing at middle linebacker, which likely is going to be Chandler Wooten and Jacoby Windman. Chandler Wooten was with the team for the better part of the last couple of years, but was waived. And the 49ers actually signed him to their practice squad, but the Carolina Panthers just brought him back earlier this week, so he knows the defense. Again, he's been with the Carolina Panthers for the better part of the last couple of years. Josie Jewell is out this Sunday, dealing with both a quad injury, but also is in concussion protocol, so he is out. Jacoby Windham made his first career start this past week in place of rookie Trevin Wallace, who had been filling in for much of the season as Shaq Thompson, but also Windham was also filling in for Claudin Chairless, who was filling in for Wallace, who is out the year now with a toe injury. So the Carolina Panthers are down to their 5th and 6th middle linebackers. 5th and 6th middle linebackers. Also, you throw in on top of that, no Josie Jewell, obviously no Trevin Wallace is out there, but you're down to your 5th and 6th middle linebackers. Jadeveon Clowney's a bit beat up. He should play, but he's coming in as listed as questionable. Same with Ashawn Robinson. Same with DJ Wanham. Those guys are all beat up right now. They're expected to play, but they're not 100%. You also tack on top of that, J.C. Horn is listed at doubtful. Has not practiced this week. Been dealing with a hip groin injury. Gosh, he doesn't play. Also, Shaw Smith-Wade, your rookie 5th-round pick, who's been starting at nickel for you. A lot of guys beat up or out for this Carolina Panthers defense, which already has the worst defense in the NFL, especially when it comes to stopping the run. It is the worst rush defense in the NFL. Don't try and explain that one away. Make excuses for it. Well, actually, scrambling quarterbacks. No. Get that talk out of here. The run defense is awful. You're going against a Tampa Bay Buccaneers team that just ran for 236 yards against you at Bank of America Stadium just a couple of weeks ago. Just a couple of weeks ago. And now you got neither, and Trevin Wallace and Josie Jewell played in that game for Carolina. Then you tack on, again, the injuries that Ashawn Robinson, Jadeveon Clowney, and DJ Wanham are dealing with, plus no Shaw Smith-Wade, plus no J.C. Horn. Good luck. Good luck on Sunday. You're going to need it. So that's the Panthers Paw Print presented by Carolina Ford Dealers. With a Ford F-150 on your team, it's game on. See your Carolina Ford dealer today. It's The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Dennis Cox with you this afternoon. I teased it earlier in the show. Normally at 4:33, we do our first goal scorer, but because I am riding solo with you today, I'm actually going to take callers here. I'm going to answer them during the break. Who's the first goal scorer for the Carolina Hurricanes tonight as they take on the New Jersey Devils? The winner, if you can get it right, the ultimate sim racing experience is at Apex Racing Lab. Rev up your engines at Apex Racing Lab, the Triangle's largest sim racing destination. Experience the ultimate thrill with 20 cutting-edge simulators, expert instructors, and world-class visual tracks. Located in Cary's McGregor Village in Greater Raleigh, visit Apex Racing Lab today and unleash your racing passion. Learn more at apexracinglab.com. I need 3 contestants, folks. 919-860-5326. 919-860-5FAN. 919-860-5326. I need 3 contestants here, folks. You have a chance to win a gift card to Apex Racing Lab. I need who's going to score the first goal for the Carolina Hurricanes tonight and in what period. I need your predictions. 919-860-5FAN. 919-860-5326. We'll get our first goal scorer predictions on the other side of the break. We'll also look ahead to the Carolina Hurricanes taking on the New Jersey Devils tonight. But again, 919-860-5FAN. 919-860-5326. Need your first goal scorer predictions next on The Fan.
Tim Donnelly here for DraftKings Sportsbook. It is the most wonderful time of the year for getting in all the hoops, football, and hockey action at DraftKings Sportsbook before the end of the year. It's the season of giving. Well, we're being gifted great college football matchups, unbelievable basketball, pro football and basketball as well, and pro hockey too. It's almost 24/7 at this point in the calendar. And here's an extra gift for all new customers. Bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TIMD. That's code TIMD for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Happy holidays from DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Hi, it's Jonathan Cotton with the Good Feet store, and during the bustling holiday season, we often overlook how much we rely on our feet. Whether we're standing for hours preparing a holiday feast, shopping for the perfect gifts, or traveling with family. At the Good Feet store, we aim to get you out of pain and back to what you love with our personalized 3-step arch support system. Linda recently shared her experience. I was experiencing heel pain and sore feet and legs. After trying my Good Feet arch supports in the store, I was shocked that my feet immediately felt better. Yesterday, I was on my feet all day doing some holiday cooking, and for the first time, I didn't feel pain afterward. I am so thankful. Join Linda and don't let pain keep you from enjoying this holiday season. See how the Good Feet store can help you make every moment comfortable and pain-free. The Good Feet store is in Raleigh, Chapel Hill, Fayetteville, and other locations across North Carolina. Visit goodfeet.com to book your appointment today. I'm Jonathan Cotton, and we look forward to seeing you soon at the Good Feet store.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This holiday season, Capital One reminds you to give yourself the gift of 1.5% cash back with the Capital One Quicksilver Card.
Can I earn 1.5% cash back on birds?
Birds?
What if you sent your true love 2 turtle doves plus a partridge in a pear tree?
Sure, but why would anyone want that?
The song was very convincing.
Earn 1.5% cash back on all your holiday purchases with the Capital One Quicksilver Card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Carolina Hurricanes are in action tonight, taking on the New Jersey Devils. It's a hockey night in Carolina. They're on the road at the Prudential Center. But don't worry, the Canes will be back in action tomorrow night at Club Lenovo. You can listen to both those games right here on 99.9 The Fan. Storm Watch with Adam Gold starts at 6:30 tonight. But until then, we need our first goal-scoring predictors. The winner gets the ultimate sim racing experience at Apex Racing Lab. We have our 3 contestants. First person we're going to go to Lucius down in Fuquay. All right, Lucius, give me who scores the first goal for the Carolina Hurricanes tonight and in what period.
Let me get Seabass in 1. And I'm going to say this in the first period is going to be Seabass, but I think it's going to be a power play goal.
Okay, I like this. Aho in the first with a power play goal. I like this. Right. Would not mind seeing Sebastian Aho get that first goal. Lucius, good luck to you. Let's see if it holds up this weekend, all right? Or holds up tonight, I should say. All right, so that's Lucius out there in Fuquay. Let's go to Julian in Wake Forest, our second contestant. Julian, who gets the first goal for the Canes tonight and in what period?
I'd love to see Marty Natchez get back right, get a hot goal in the first period, and I've got $10 of my own money on it, so hopefully that works out too.
Okay, so you got real stakes on this one tonight.
Yeah, I'm doubling down.
Okay, doubling down. Now, are you going like first goal scorer with your bet, or just anytime goal scorer?
No, first goal scorer in the first period.
Let's go. I like this.
Yeah, trying to go get hot right out the gate.
And like you said, you got some money down on that. So that's Julian, Wake Forest, Natchez in the first period. By the way, Natchez has not scored a goal since December 5th, Julian. Hope you're aware of that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm hoping that he's going to get right. It's a big game. We're playing the Devils. And hopefully he's trending upwards, and the Hurricanes are trending upwards too.
Hey, you know what? I wouldn't mind that at all. Julian, thank you for prediction. Again, if you win, you get that Apex Racing Lab gift card, all right?
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You got it. I'll have more on Martin Natchez here in just a second. But let's go ahead and go to Scott in Apex. Scott, I need your first goal scorer. What period do they score tonight?
I'm going to go with Jarvie in the first period.
Okay. Any way this happens? Power play, shorthanded, redirect, any particular any details you want to add?
Yeah, not too much details. I'm thinking it might be a 5v5 goal. Looking forward to that and getting back on track with that.
Okay, Jarvis in the first with a 5-on-5 goal. Scott, I got you marked down. Let's see if that holds up. If you win at Apex, the ultimate sim racing experience at Apex Racing Lab, that Apex Racing Lab gift card. Scott, enjoy your weekend, good sir.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
All right, so those are our goal scoring predictions. We have Lucien Fuqua saying Aho scores in the first period, even said it's a power play goal tonight. I love the thought of that. Julian in Wake Forest said Martin Natchez gets back in the goal scoring column with a goal in the first period tonight. And Scott from Apex just said Jarvis scoring the first, going with a 5-on-5 goal this evening. You know, actually, my prediction is going to be Jordan Martinook in the first period. And the reason why I say that is this. Jordan Martinook, this is just according to our good friend Walt Ruff, Hurricanes.com reporter. The Carolina Hurricanes were 16-5-1 at Thanksgiving. 16-5-1. Awesome. But since Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving, they're 5-7 since in that stretch going into the holiday break that now they're just coming out of. Jordan Martinook said this earlier today. Quote, I feel like we've gotten away from our identity and how people see us as a team. First and foremost, it's getting back to that, and the results will take care of themselves. We need to start playing to the standard that we've set here. I'm hoping everybody came back refreshed, came back ready to play, and ready to play the way we need to, end quote. When I hear that from one of your veterans, one of your alternate captains, saying that, coming back from a break like this, I gotta go with Marty. I gotta go with Jordan Martinook tonight. The guy himself is setting the standard and saying, hey, we need to get back to what we do. We need to get back to what we know. You know he himself is going to try and set that tone tonight, especially when he says, the rest of the team, we got to get back to what we do. Well, I'm going to look at that guy. So give me Jordan Martinook scoring the first goal tonight for the Carolina Hurricanes in the first period on the road against the New Jersey Devils. Now, again, one of our predictions came from Julian in Wake Forest talking about Martin Natchez scoring the first goal tonight. Martin Natchez, starting to get a little concerned. I'm not saying we got to put his face on a milk carton right now. We might be getting to that point. In the last 8 games, so since December 7th against the New York Islanders, Martin Natchez, 0 goals the last 8 games. 0 goals. Go back to just the last 4 games, no points at all. None. No points during that stretch. Heck, look at his plus-minus. He's a -6 in these last 8 games. -6. He had that hot start. Hot start. 14 goals, 30 assists so far this season, 44 points in 34 games. You look at the overall, you're like, awesome. Awesome. But what have you been doing now? Again, last 8 games, 3 assists, no goals. And in the last 4 games, no points. During that 8-game stretch, -6. -6. This is something that Carolina has not really had fully yet this season. And you hope, obviously, it comes late in the year going into the playoffs. But truly having everyone on the same page rolling at the same time. Not saying that Aho, Jarvis, Svech, Natchez, Kokoniemi, Roslovic, like all these guys have to score every single game. Not saying that that has to be the case. But these guys have to be consistently in the score column, producing points in some way, shape, or form. They need it. They need it big time. This team absolutely needs it. We haven't had that so far this season. Now, earlier on in the year, white hot, absolutely white hot was Martin Natchez. The guy was carrying the team. Guy was carrying the team. But he's cooled down. Now, Sebastian Aho, his production's starting to go up a little bit more. Jack Roslovic was playing white hot at the beginning of the year. Production overall has cooled down a bit. That was more of expected because I think Jack Roslovic, in terms of goal scoring, was playing above level. To me, this break came at the right time for Carolina. They needed it badly. They needed it badly. Just to let their bodies sit, let their bodies rest a little bit, and just get off their skates. But get off your skates, get off the ice, put your feet up for 3 days, spend time with family, come back ready to go. Refocus, re-energize, ready to go. But this team needs a jump start in some way, shape, or form. Especially from your top guys. This team doesn't have a ton of depth in terms of the goal scoring department. They just don't. They don't have the guys that they had last year. And now you also add in Jack Drury being hurt. Well, guess what? You put more on Jesperi Kokoniemi's plate. Jesperi Kokoniemi, also the last 4 games, just like Martin Natchez, no goals, no assists. Go back to the last 8 games. During that same goalless drought that Martin Natchez is on, Kokoniemi, just 2 goals. Go back to the last 13 games for Jesperi Kokoniemi. 3 goals, no assists. 3 goals, no assists in the last 13 games. Since Thanksgiving, I guess it'll be 12 games, but since Thanksgiving, that's where this team is right now. Well, I guess it'll be the day before Thanksgiving, last 13 games. 3 goals, no assists. -4. From a guy who's your quote-unquote number 2 center. Quote-unquote number 2 center. And he's getting more ice time now with Jack Drury being hurt. There's a reason why his ice time was in severe decline before the Jack Drury injury. Go to the game against the New York Rangers the day before Thanksgiving, November 27th. He played 8 minutes and 52 seconds. Against Colorado, he played 8 minutes and 57 seconds. Against the Florida Panthers, the day after Thanksgiving, played 10 minutes and 9 seconds. When they played Seattle, when they lost that game, 10 minutes and 18 seconds. Now, since Drury's injury, he's been playing more of 12, 13, 14, 15 minutes out of necessity. You're getting paid nearly $5 million a year to put up crooked numbers. Not goose eggs. 3 goals, 0 assists the last 13 games for Jesperi Kokoniemi. He just has 5 goals on the season in 34 games. 5 goals, 10 assists. This guy should be producing more. Should be. Supposed to be. He needs to. This Carolina Hurricanes team Needs him to produce. Again, Canes in action tonight. 6:30 Storm Watch right here on 99.9 The Fan. This is a Storm Watch presented by John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on 99.9 The Fan. Going to take a quick break. On the other side, we'll have our starting five, including NC State versus East Carolina tomorrow, UNC, UConn, but also UNC basketball can't get back to bad habits on Sunday. We'll have that in the starting five coming up. Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. For all the inside information on your team, join me and my co-host, WRAL TV's Chris Lee, for our podcast, Panthers Playbook, presented by Carolina Ford Dealers. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on your Panthers, and we'll do it with access only we can provide. Locker room insight, exclusive interviews, and in-depth looks at every Panthers game. Follow and subscribe to Panthers Playbook wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win, breakaway, pick six, three-point shot, underdog win, buzzer beater, shootout, walk-off, and absolutely every play in between is amazing. From football to basketball and hockey to baseball, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus only.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9313. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9313. That's 800-575-9313. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to RitchieLaw.com.
That's RitchieLaw.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike Mays. It's been a raw, damp day. We've seen drizzle and mist around the area this afternoon. That will continue this evening and overnight, the low 44. Tomorrow, spotty rain can't be ruled out. 66 is our forecast high.
5 o'clock check of your money here on 99.9 The Fan. Dow Jones at the closing bell today down 333 points to 42,992.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
It's The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Dennis Cox with you this afternoon. Riding solo today. Don't worry. Tim will be back on Monday next week. Hope everyone out there is enjoying their holiday time. Everyone's being safe. You know, a lot of people are on the roads, traveling back, or traveling back into town, or traveling home. So stay safe out there on the roads. But hope everyone also got what you wanted under the tree. Hope everyone got what they wanted under the tree. It is 5 o'clock. As always, starting five, we start off with number 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Bailey, shotgun, snap left hashes, QB keeper, dives forward, touchdown. Bailey is third of the night.
NC State versus East Carolina tomorrow. The Go Bowling Military Bowl. The Go Bowling Military Bowl being played in Annapolis, Maryland, at Navy Marine Corps Stadium. You know they always have these bowl gifts. People may not know this, but players that go to a bowl game, they get gifts for being there, which is kind of cool, actually, when you think about it. So you get a bowl gift. So just a bunch of different swag, different things. So part of the experience of going to these bowl games, or get to have, nights out, get to go to different restaurants, or also just getting cool gear. Gosh, I actually saw the bowl game that Texas A&M and USC are playing on, the Las Vegas Bowl. They're getting custom Jordan 1 low tops. And as a sneakerhead, that's pretty awesome. But custom Jordan 1s where they get an all-white Jordan 1 sneaker, and they're allowed to customize it in any way, shape, or form that they want to, with different aspects of Las Vegas that they want to add to it, and color it up in different ways and put the different laces that they want on it. So you get a custom pair of Jordan 1s, which is pretty cool. And that's for the Las Vegas Bowl, which is kind of neat when you think about it. I mean, gosh, I remember back when the Duke's Mayo Bowl used to be the Belk Bowl, players would get these big shopping sprees. Like, hey, here's $450 or $500 to go to Belk and just buy stuff, which is kind of neat. I was just wondering, for the Gold Bowling Military Bowl, it's like, do you get a custom bowling ball or a pair of bowling shoes? I mean, I don't know. Just a thought. But NC State versus East Carolina tomorrow. By the way, you can actually listen to that game over on Mix 101.5. You can hear the NC State broadcast of that tomorrow afternoon. But to me, if I'm NC State, I know that Robert and I, my offensive coordinator, is coming back, and I got CJ Bailey, who just wrapped up his true freshman year. I'm going to CJ. I'm going to my offensive players, if I'm Robert and I, and asking them, hey, what do you want to work on? What's something that you want to try? Something that we didn't do during the year or didn't do well during the season. What do you want to work on? CJ Bailey can say, hey, you know what? I want to get better at that deep out route. I want to get better on, throwing a deep post or comeback routes, whatever it is. Go into your receivers. Hey, what routes do you want to work on? All those different things. Figure out what they want to work on and be intentional about trying to work on those things. Not saying you got to spend the entire game doing it, but at least try it. At least try. This is your chance to do it. Now, obviously, you still want to win the game. That's important. But at the same time, you can still try things, get better. Now, to me, that's the biggest thing that NC State has to gain in this. Defensively, I don't know what their defense is going to look like next season, because Tony Gibson, their defensive coordinator, left to be the head coach at Marshall. So who knows what their defense is going to look like. But if I'm whomever that's calling the defense this weekend, try some different stuff. Tony Gibson had that 3-3-5 defense. 3 down linemen, 3 linebackers, 5 in the secondary. Try a 4 down line. Try it. See if it works. Do something different. Try different things. Don't be afraid to get aggressive. Hey, talk to your defensive backs. What do you want to work on? Hey, coach, I want to work on more man coverage. I want to be able to try and press at the line of scrimmage. Okay, be intentional about calling some of those during the course of the game. Do it. Try it. but also for NC State still win, because the last thing you want to do is lose to an in-state school in East Carolina, a team that's 75 minutes down the road, that's a group of 5 school. You don't want to lose that one. ECU, to me, has everything to gain in this game. Now, I know ECU, group of 5 schools, they get picked apart in the transfer portal. You get guys that play well, show a little something, they get picked up in the transfer portal. They get contacted by people saying, hey, if you come to this, power conference school, we'll give you some money. Come on up over here. Hey, yeah, that grass does look a little bit greener. Also, that money looks a lot greener, too, because there's more of it. It's how this works, unfortunately. But if you're East Carolina, you win this game, you finish the year 8-5. And for a head coach like Blake Harrell, who took over as interim head coach at the midpoint of the season, to go 8-5, that's awesome. Like that, there's so much that you can do to build with the future of your team as a first-year head coach and say, hey, look, the head coach previously got canned. I came in. I fixed this thing. I made sure we got to 8 wins. The only team in the state of North Carolina that can say they got to 8 wins that's an FBS school is Duke. You can say that as East Carolina. You can say that as ECU. Yeah, you lost that game against App. Hey, did App get to 8 wins? No, but we did. So there's a ton to gain for ECU football this weekend. A ton to gain. That's number 5. Let's go ahead and get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
Culliver can make something happen on the return. Oh, yes, he can. Across the 30. He gets around Connor. Chris Culliver to the other 30, and he's going the distance. Culliver takes it to the house to get the Tar Heels on the board.
Woo!
Good play.
All right, so that was the last time that UNC football was in the Boston area, or in Boston, taking on Boston College. That was about the only highlight that they had in that game when they lost to Boston College. But hey, you're back in the Wasabi Fenway Bowl taking on UConn, which, by the way, this is as northeastern as it gets, I feel like. Bill Belichick, who used to coach the New England Patriots in the Boston area of Foxborough, his new team is in Boston taking on UConn, Northeastern School. Anyway, it's like a homecoming. But for North Carolina, with interim coach Freddie Kitchens leading the way tomorrow, which, by the way, that game kicking off at 11 o'clock, you can listen to that right here on 99.9 The Fan tomorrow. So if you want to listen to UNC football as you're driving around, maybe you're going to return some gifts and do some exchanges, those kinds of things, check out Carolina football right here on The Fan. But for UNC football, I have no doubt, the last few weeks, with Freddie Kitchens as the quote-unquote interim head coach, I know Bill Belichick's the actual head coach, but with Freddie Kitchens leading the team into the bowl game, and with Bill Belichick having said Freddie Kitchens will be retained on staff, I have no doubt that Bill Belichick has been telling Freddie Kitchens everything he wants this team to do in terms of practice preparation, game preparation, just the routine of running practice, all those different things, concepts, terminology, a bunch of different stuff. He's starting to establish it right now. We saw North Carolina have multiple players go into the transfer portal, and as soon as Bill Belichick got hired, within a day or two, well, actually, I'm going to go back to UNC. It's their right. It's their right to do it. But I have no doubt that Bill Belichick has already been telling Freddie Kitchens everything he wants these guys to do. Already started to change the culture, change the mindset, change everything about what these guys are doing. And Bill Belichick, we all know, is going to be watching this closely. Obviously, he's trying to evaluate these guys. He needs to figure out, all right, what are these guys capable of doing? How can I coach them up in the springtime? How can I develop these guys in the offseason? And then make sure when I actually do step in as head coach, not just in the spring, but also in the fall, when training camp actually starts in late July, that he's ready to go. I have no doubt about that. I'm excited to see what UNC football does. I really am, because it's kind of a mystery right now. We don't really know what Bill Belichick is going to do. We have an idea. He has an idea, but we don't fully know. Maybe we'll get a taste of that tomorrow in the Wasabi Fenway Bowl. Again, you can listen to that game right here on 99.9 The Fan. All right, that's number 4. Let's get to number 3.
Three-pointer too strong by Alabama. Long rebound to R.J. Davis. He gets it ahead to Jackson for the tomahawk.
So Carolina basketball is in action this weekend. They're taking on Campbell. Nice little in-state matchup. The Camels going into the Dean Dome this Sunday. Sunday night, by the way, 8 o'clock game. Sorry, it's not that long of a trip from Bowie's Creek up to Chapel Hill. But Sunday night, last time we saw UNC, they beat UCLA in a high-profile game at Madison Square Garden, 76-74. To me, I would say as 2 big wins for UNC basketball so far this year. 2 big wins. UCLA now is ranked 22nd in the country. They also beat Dayton back on November 25th in the Maui Invitational, 92-90. Dayton was up in the top 25. They kind of slipped down just outside the top 25. But Dayton, that is a really good win. But we have seen this team lose to Auburn, 85-72, Michigan State, 94-91. They also lost to Alabama, 94-79. Lost to Kansas, 92-89. A lot of really close losses. Lost to Florida, 90-84. But there's something in common with each and every one of these games, including Dayton and UCLA, which they won. They fell behind 14, 15, 16, 17 in all those games. Large deficits early. Now, in the second half, in a lot of these games, they came back and shoot quite well. Much better than they do in the first half. I don't know, maybe the Hubert Davis halftime adjustment is, hey, guys, make your shots. Okay, got it. I know UNC is playing Campbell this weekend. It's their final tune-up game before they actually got to go really into ACC play. They have one ACC game under a belt. They beat Georgia Tech 68-65 back on December 7th at the Dean Smith Center. But some of those tendencies and mistakes that they made early in games to fall behind against some of that tough competition, you can't let those mistakes creep back in just because you're playing quote-unquote lesser competition. We even saw game 1 of the season when they played Elon. Against Elon, they were down early in that game and had to fight and scratch and claw in order to pull out a victory there. So UNC has to eliminate the careless turnovers. Against UCLA, inbounding the basketball seemed like a struggle against UCLA. There are multiple times, I remember it was right in front of the UCLA bench in the first half. Cade Tyson did it and Ian Jackson did it. Just caught the ball with their foot out of bounds. Like, know where you are on the floor. Those are careless turnovers. A lot of bad passes that got tipped. I'm curious to see as well if Hubert Davis is going to lean into his top 4 guards this game just like he did against UCLA. Against UCLA, we saw a ton of Elliot Cadeau, R.J. Davis, Seth Trimble, and Ian Jackson all on the floor together. And there in the middle, it was Van Allen Lubin or Jalen Washington or Jalen Withers, whomever it was. But he leaned heavily on his 4 guards. Obviously, Drake Powell got a lot of playing time as well. But that's what we saw Hubert Davis do. Now, Hubert Davis has switched up his starting lineup from the beginning of the season. Beginning of the year, it was Jalen Washington and Jalen Withers starting at the 5 and the 4, respectively. Since then, it's been Van Allen Lubin and Drake Powell. So for a team that was already small, Hubert Davis decided to start even smaller. I wonder if Hubert Davis is really going to continue to lean into that. And, hey, that's what he's going to do going forward. They're small. It's a small team. It's a really small lineup. We all knew that going in. Just look at them on the floor. Again, relative. These guys are 6'1". But Ian Jackson was the second tallest guy on the floor at times. He's 6'3", 6'4". It puts a lot of stress on them defensively to really make sure that they help from the weak side. They have to do that. Because otherwise, not good. Otherwise, things are not going to pan out well for them. If they can get the rebounding from their guards, this is something that against UCLA, I thought UNC actually did really well. Their guards rebounded really well, and UNC wants to push the tempo. They really do. Hubert Davis even said it himself. They want to be the fastest team from free throw line to free throw line. Transition from defense to offense. If you do run that small lineup, and if your guards are rebounding, you know you can trust Cadeau, Davis, Trimble, or Ian Jackson with the ball in their hands and can push the ball up the floor. It doesn't have to be on just one guy or two guys. I'm curious to see what happens on Sunday night for UNC basketball. That's number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the two of us. Now it's back in is Kotkaniemi with a drive. He scores! Yes, Barry Kotkaniemi picks the far corner. And the Canes go up 4-1.
Carolina Hurricanes back in action tonight. It's a hockey night in Carolina. Storm Watch with Adam Gold begins at 6:30 tonight here on 99.9 The Fan. Puck drop just after 7 o'clock. Canes are going to be back in action tomorrow night at the Lenovo Center, taking on the very same New Jersey Devils they take tonight. But it's going to be a home game, same time, 7 o'clock. Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 6:30 tomorrow evening. The Carolina Hurricanes, since Thanksgiving, so, in the last month, they're 5-7. 5-7. Before that, they were 16-5-1. 16-5-1 before Thanksgiving. Since then, 5-7. Now you got back-to-back games against a divisional opponent in the New Jersey Devils. These next two games, I know it's still the first half of the year. We're approaching the midway point. But you're playing a New Jersey Devils team that is ahead of you in the standings right now in both points and points percentage. Now, I understand the New Jersey Devils have played 37 games. The Carolina Hurricanes have played just 34. But if Carolina, that is 5 points back of the Washington Capitals, who have 48 points, Carolina with 43. Your points percentage is actually less than that of the New Jersey Devils. You're to catch these teams in the standings. You're trying to chase these teams down. Now, you are well ahead of the Pittsburgh Penguins. You're well ahead of Columbus, Philly, the Rangers, and the Islanders. You're well ahead of those teams. But you can't continue to just slump and allow a team like Pittsburgh to catch up on you. But also against a team like the Devils, if you win back-to-back games in regulation today and tomorrow, you'll have as many wins in 30, and you have as many wins as the New Jersey Devils, having played 3 less games. If you don't catch Washington for the top spot in the Metropolitan Division, you're going to play the New Jersey Devils in the first round of the playoffs. I want those games at home. And these kinds of games matter twice as much because it's a divisional opponent and it's the team you are chasing right now. You are 6 points back. 6 points back of the New Jersey Devils. If you lose these next 2 games in regulation, you go from 6 to 10 back. 6 to 10. Now, I understand you have 3 games in hand, but 3 games ain't going to make up that difference. You win these 2 games, win them in regulation, you go from down 6 to just down 2. You go from 6 to 2. And you have 3 games in hand. These next 2 games are massive for both the Devils and for the Canes as we approach the midpoint of the season. I know there's still a ton of hockey left, But you don't want to leave these ones out there. You just don't want to leave them out there. You got to get wins in these ones. Pyotr Kochetkov, my understanding, should be playing tonight. The Carolina Hurricanes, by the way, the NHL has a rule from December 24th to December 26th. No practicing, no traveling during that time. Those 3 days are off. No meetings, no practice, no travel, nothing. Mandatory 3 days off. So in this situation for the Carolina Hurricanes, they skated this morning at Lenovo Center, then hopped on a flight, went to New Jersey to play the game today. So it's a little bit of a different schedule than what they're used to. But after 3 days off, hopefully these guys are feeling refreshed and rejuvenated. This is actually something that Canes reporter Walt Ruff said earlier today when talking to Jordan Martinook. Jordan Martinook's Carolina Hurricanes forward said this, saying, quote, "I feel like we've gotten away from our identity and how people see us as a team. First and foremost, it's getting back to that, and the results will take care of themselves. We need to start playing to the standard that we've set here. I'm hoping everybody came back refreshed, came back ready to play, and ready to play the way we need to." End quote. That's on Jordan Martinook talking about the recent stretch of just 5-7 in the last 12 games. I hope that Carolina gets back to that identity where they're just a bear to play against. Get these next two games. Again, I know it's the midpoint of the season, but that doesn't mean you still can't take care of these games and really set yourself up for success. Because these 2 points tonight, 2 points tomorrow, they all count the same during the regular season. They all count the same. You don't want to be playing catch-up. Put yourself in position right now to at least, at minimum, have home ice advantage in the first round of the playoffs. Because you're likely going to play New Jersey if you don't catch Washington. That's number 2. Let's go ahead and get to number 1.
The one! To give to Hubbard over the right side. Breaks a tackle. 10-5. High step. Touchdown, Chuba Hubbard. And the Panthers win in overtime. A game-winning 21.
Okay, that is Chuba Hubbard. Game-winning touchdown from just a couple of days ago. Carolina Panthers in action this Sunday, taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Speaking of Chuba Hubbard, this is something that I hope Dave Canales continues to do. He leaned on the run game against the Arizona Cardinals. Chuba Hubbard rewarded you with 152 yards rushing. Was NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Now, I know there is the question of, well, maybe they should play other guys, younger guys, to get them some experience. Well, Dave Canales was asked about that, especially when it comes to running back.
Trying to win the game. Chuba gives us our best chance to win that game, so he's going to see the ball a lot, that's the hope. And to be balanced, to be able to do those things, I think, this is about finish for us. It's about, all these guys working together, and, when the other guys get their opportunities, I'll be excited for them as well.
Yeah, other guys will get their opportunities, but not right now. If you're Carolina, if you're head coach Dave Canales, you need to do everything you can to try and win games, especially for a young head coach who needs to learn how to coach to win. The brass, the front office should not be telling Dave Canales to, hey, let's just be competitive, but let's maybe not, be competitive, but not too good, right? That's not what Dave Canales needs to hear. It's also not what your players need to hear too. You don't think that stuff will leak around the building? Your players, you owe it to them to do your best to win. You owe it to them for everything they put their bodies through during the course of the year. They're paid to do 2 things: compete and to win. That's what they're there to do. Players aren't there for tanking. They're not there for your, hey guys, let's keep it close against Tampa, but let's maybe, let's just lose by 1 possession because, hey, we're going to get that top 10 pick. Maybe we can get a 7th round pick. We can get that guy. They don't care. They're there to win and stay employed. That's what they're there to do. You owe it to your team and you owe it to yourself to try and win games. It's what you are paid to do. So yeah, Carolina Panthers taking on the Tampa Bay Bucs this weekend. By the way, Xavier Legette, rookie first-round pick, wide receiver, should play this weekend. And barring any sort of setback. But also, they're without Josie Jewell. They're going to be without Trevin Wallace and others. Middle linebacker, they're going to be starting their 5th and 6th middle linebackers this season. Here's head coach Dave Canales earlier today talking about, well, things are going to look a little bit different on the inside of that defense.
It's communication, right? It's all the variables, all the situational things that come up throughout a course of a week, when you play a type of scheme, there's things that people try to challenge you with. And so it's about getting those guys up to speed on, like, in these different situations, here's what they're trying to attack. So, that's getting all that communicated and being ready for all the different variables is the greatest challenge.
So, yeah, a defense that, when they played the Tampa Bay Bucks a couple of weeks ago, gave up 236 yards rushing. That's when they had Josie Jewell, one of their starting linebackers, and Trevin Wallace, their 3rd-round pick at middle linebacker, also playing. But now you have those two guys are not. They're out. And also, Trevin Wallace's replacement, Claudin Cherlis, is out for the rest of the year with a toe injury. So you have Jacoby Windman, who had his first start this past Sunday against the Arizona Cardinals, and a guy you just brought back in Chandler Wooten, who was on the practice squad with the San Francisco 49ers. You brought him back. Anyway, it's a mess. It's a mess right now on the middle of that defense. Also throw in there J.C. Horn, likely not to play. Doubtful. And Shaw Smith-Wade, your nickel corner. He's out as well. Fun times. This is The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. I need a couple numbers game contestants here, folks. 919-860-5FAN. 919-860-5326. We have a $25 Hardee's gift card on the line. If you can, win the numbers game. In order to win this numbers game, you need to play the numbers game. I need 2 contestants here, folks. 919-860-5FAN. 919-860-5326. We have a $25 Hardee's gift card on the line to the winner of the numbers game, but you need to play in order to win. 919-860-5FAN. 919-860-5326. I need 2 numbers game contestants. $25 Hardee's gift card on the line. Numbers game next.
It's bowl season.
Ho, ho, ho!
Listen for college football's best through January 20th. From the Military Bowl to the Natty, every major bowl will be brought to you live.
Jennings has thrown 2 interceptions, and they have both been taken to the house.
Bowl season on 99.9 The Fan and Buzz Sports is presented by Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford, Amedios, and Roofworks.
It's bow time. 'Tis the season for food and family, but thanks to Bojangles, you don't have to spend hours in the kitchen when loved ones come home for the holidays. Set down the spatula and put away the mixing bowls, because this holiday season, Bojangles is ready to help you celebrate with all your family favorites like Chicken Supreme, Cajun Filet Biscuits, or a big bow box of hand-breaded chicken, scratch-made biscuits, and fixins for the whole family. We'll make the food so you can focus on making memories. Head to Bojangles and gift yourself a taste of home. It's bow time.
If it's ho-ho-ho time, it's Bo-Bo-Bo time. Time to order a party-sized platter of that bodacious Bojangles flavor before your next holiday celebration. Choose a Bojangles Supremes platter and get 50 whole breast tenderloin fillets. Or go with a Bojangles dessert platter and get 2 dozen Bo-Berry biscuits, 2 dozen cinnamon twists, or 1 dozen of each. It's a platter full of Bo-liciousness. And don't forget to pick up Bojangles gift cards. Just the right gift for anyone on your list. Hurry, it's Bo time.
John Heister is playing Santa with the Wrap Up the Year sales event at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington. Now is the time to wrap up a big, beautiful present for yourself for 20% off. Ho, ho, ho! Put yourself in the driver's seat of any new 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn for 20% off right now at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington. See dealer for all the details. You've been good this year, so get off your keister and get to John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington.
I went to my computer career because I needed job security.
Because I wanted a career in cybersecurity.
I
I went to My Computer Career because IT jobs are everywhere.
My old job was going nowhere.
I went because I didn't want college loans for the rest of my life.
Because I wanted a career for the rest of my life.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. Classes available online or in person. Financial aid available for qualified students, including the GI Bill. 529 college savings plans accepted.
Not available in Washington State.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check your sunroof is closed first, before driving through the car wash.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, no. Wait, whoa.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
An army never rests. The same is true for the Salvation Army of Wake County. Serving the most vulnerable populations in our community, the Army shelters the homeless, feeds the hungry, provides after-school and youth athletic programs, senior programs, and responds to natural disasters. Beyond the red kettle and Christmas bell ringing, the Army is there to help those in need all year long. Learn more at wakearmy.org. The Salvation Army. We love beyond the holidays.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. For all the inside information on your team, join me and my co-host, WRAL TV's Chris Lee, for our podcast, Panthers Playbook, presented by Carolina Ford Dealers. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on your Panthers, and we'll do it with access only we can provide. Locker room insight, exclusive interviews, and in-depth looks at every Panthers game. Follow and subscribe to Panthers Playbook wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube. It's The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Dennis Cox riding solo with you all today. It's time to play the numbers game, but I actually had a contestant drop. We have Briggs in Raleigh ready to compete. But I need one more numbers game contestant. Someone actually dropped. $25 gift card to Hardee's is on the line. 919-860-5FAN. 919-860-5326. I need another numbers game contestant. So make sure you call in here, folks. I need one more. We actually do have a contestant online. I'm actually going to put that contestant on hold, so make sure you stay listening. But let's go ahead and bring in Briggs from Raleigh. Briggs, question for you. You actually are going to go first because you actually were the first person that called in. Normally we do, ask what are you looking forward to most this weekend? But because the other contestant dropped and you stayed on, you're going to go first, Briggs. But I got to ask you this question.
Let's hear it.
What's the one gift you got here for the holidays that you want to exchange? What's the one gift that you want to take back? I got to hear the gift that you got to take back.
I don't know. I got everything I wanted. I don't know what I would want to exchange.
Okay.
To be quite honest, I guess I got lucky this year.
Okay. Well, what was the favorite thing you got for the holidays?
Honestly, let's see. I got a Canes golf shirt.
Nice.
Johnny O. I loved it. That's probably my favorite one. Huge Canes fan here.
Okay. Huge Caniac. All right. Appreciate that. All right, Briggs, I'm going to give you 4 different categories.
Right.
NFL, born last week of December. We have NFL AP MVP, so these are all players who were named the Associated Press most valuable player in the NFL. Also, NBA Triangle Area first-round pick, so these are all players who played college basketball in the Triangle who were first-round picks into the NBA. We also have NHL Hurricanes only.
I was hoping you'd say that. Let's do that one.
Of course. Canes only for Briggs. All right, the way this works, Briggs, pretty simple. 30 seconds on the clock. You try to get all 5 names in 30 seconds or less. You do get 1 pass. Do you have any questions?
So you're going to rattle off some names of some players?
Yes, so I'm going to give you the name of the player, and I'm also going to mention the name of the team. Okay? So, Briggs, the way this works, I'll mention the name of the player, and I'm also going to say Carolina Hurricanes to keep things fair for your other contestant. You have to give me the jersey number of that player. So,
perfect. All right.
Gotcha.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Any questions, sir?
Nope.
All right. 30 seconds on the clock. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Pyotr Kochetkov, Carolina Hurricanes.
31.
Incorrect. Jackson Blake, Carolina Hurricanes.
53.
Correct. Brady Shea, Carolina Hurricanes.
76.
Correct. Chris Versteeg, Carolina Hurricanes.
32.
Correct. 32. Pyotr Kochetkov, Carolina Hurricanes.
34.
Incorrect. Sandis Ojelins, Carolina Hurricanes.
He was 19.
Actually, Sandis Ojelins wore number 8. So you got Jackson Blake with 53. You got Brady Shea with 76. Chris Versteeg, you hesitated, but 32 was correct for Chris Versteeg. Sandis Ojelins, again, wore 8. Pyotr Kochetkov currently wears number 52, but he has worn number 90 in the past, so we would have accepted both numbers. So you did get 3, though. Pretty solid. Stay on the line as we bring on our other contestant, all right?
Appreciate it.
All right, let's bring up our other contestant, someone that I answered on the phone while I was currently on air, so I actually don't know who your name is or who you are. What's your name and where you calling from?
Greg in Wake Forest.
All right, Greg in Wake Forest. So you know how this game works. You just heard Briggs play. I'm going to give you 1 of 3 categories to choose from. You can choose between NFL, born last week of December, so these are all NFL players born in the last week of December. NFL AP MVP, so these are all players who were named Associated Press Most Valuable Player in the NFL. And we also have our final category to choose from, NBA All Triangle Area First-Round Picks. So these are all players that played college basketball in the Triangle and were first-round picks into the NBA. Which is your category?
Let's go with the NBA.
NBA.
Triangle players.
Okay, so it's Gary and Wake Forest. I want to make sure I get this correct.
Greg.
Oh, Greg. See? I want to make sure I got it right. All right, Greg in Wake Forest. You're going to have 30 seconds on the clock. I'm going to give you the name of the player and the team which they played for. Again, this is their NBA name. Their NBA team, not their college team. But you need to give me the number which they wear or wore. Correct?
Yep.
All right. Any questions before we get started?
Nope.
All right. The score you need to beat, you have to beat 3. Time will start when you hear the horn. Kyrie Irving, Cleveland Cavaliers.
2.
Correct. Dennis Smith Jr., Dallas Stars. I'm sorry, Dallas
0.
Mavericks.
0.
Incorrect. Cole Anthony, Orlando Magic.
15.
Incorrect. Dennis Smith Jr., Dallas Mavericks.
Pass.
TJ Warren, Phoenix Suns.
35.
Incorrect. Cole Anthony, Orlando Magic.
35.
Incorrect. Dennis Smith Jr., Dallas Mavericks.
1.
All right, that one came in a little bit late, but I'll go and give that to you. Came up a little bit short. You got Kyrie Irving, Cleveland Cavaliers. He wore number 2. Dennis Smith Jr., Dallas Mavericks. You got it right. I accidentally said Dallas Stars. Had hockey on my mind. We wore number 1 with the Dallas Mavericks. Cole Anthony played at UNC. Orlando Magic wears number 50. And T.J. Warren, who played at NC State, Phoenix Suns, he wore number 12. Wore number 12. So, Greg, you did get 2. Unfortunately, that's not enough to beat Briggs, but I do appreciate you calling in at the last second and stepping up when we needed it, all right?
Yeah, had a good time.
Absolutely, man. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and enjoy your new year as well.
Thank you. Same to you.
Thanks. That brings on Briggs, our winner. Briggs, congratulations, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And I'm also happy to hear, Briggs, that you didn't have to exchange anything. Nothing you wanted to give back. Congrats to you on that, by the way.
Yeah. Like I said, I got lucky.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes you get that every single year. Briggs, I need you to stay on the line. I'm going to get your information here in the commercial break, so make sure you just stay on the line for me, and I'll get information from you real fast. But again, stay on the line for me, all right?
Will do. Thank you.
Absolutely. By the way, I hope each and every one of you out there got what you needed, got what you wanted during this holiday season. Whatever came under the tree, whatever gifts that may have come to you, didn't have to worry about exchanges, returns, or any of that kind of stuff. It's what you wanted, in the right size, exactly what you needed. Hope everyone got that. I hope everyone got that. I know Briggs is a Canes fan, talked about the Canes shirt that he got. I'm going to brag here for a little bit. My girlfriend got me the Canes starter jacket pullover. She got me that for Christmas this year. Pretty awesome. She's a keeper. This is The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side, We have some predictions we got to do this weekend, including who wins between NC State and East Carolina tomorrow. We'll have our predictions coming up next.
Tim Donnelly here for DraftKings Sportsbook. It's the most wonderful time of the year for getting in all of the hoops, football, and hockey action at DraftKings Sportsbook. In the season of giving, we're being gifted college football and basketball, pro football and basketball, and pro hockey too, almost 24/7. Money lines, parlays, props, live bets, and so much more. The betting options feel endless on DraftKings. And here's a gift for all new customers. Bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TIMD. That's code TIMD with no spaces for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Happy holidays from DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Do you lay awake at night worrying about what to buy everyone on your holiday list? Well, Skechers is here for a holiday rescue with hands-free Skechers slip-ins. The right gift for everyone on your list, because with hands-free Skechers slip-ins, you just step into them and they're on. There's no bending down, no touching your shoes, no retying laces. Plus, Skechers slip-ins are perfect for everyone. Moms, dads, grandparents, kids, friends, coworkers, and they're the most comfortable shoes they'll ever wear. Find them for the holidays at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com. Or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
It's time for the Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month.
This is Creighton Blackwell from Coastal Credit Union and 99.9 The Fan, and we're here at South Garner High School to celebrate our next Scholar Athlete of the Month. And that Scholar Athlete is Samayan Jones.
It means a lot to me because my parents, they want me to do well and make it in life. So this is for them. I try to work hard in the classroom and on the court for them and do my best.
He's never trying to bring no negative energy, and I feel like that's what makes him a more productive teammate.
My teammates, they encourage me a lot because, I've been through injuries. They cheer me on because 2 games ago was my first time getting back on the court. So they cheer me on, encourage me every day. That's why I keep doing what I do.
He was always there in practice, just cheering us up and just carrying us on for practice, even though he wasn't playing. So that just shows what type of guy he is.
And then I have him in my class, so he's a great student as well. Just last week, one of his real good friends, he's like, Junior's just a good vibe, man. And that's what he is.
Congratulations, Samayan.
For over 20 years, 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union have been recognizing scholar athletes at Triangle area schools. If you'd like to nominate a high school athlete, text AWARD to 919-860-5326. That's AWARD to 919-860-5326.
It's Tim Donnelly for Window Nation. It's Window Nation's end-of-the-year sale. Get 50% off all styles of windows and a bonus 10% off. Plus, you could get 0 interest for 6 years. Sale ends December 31st, so book a quote at 866-90Nation or at windownation.com.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. For all the inside information on your team, join me and my co-host, WRAL TV's Chris Lee, for our podcast, Panthers Playbook, presented by Carolina Ford Dealers. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on your Panthers, and we'll do it with access only we can provide. Locker room insight, exclusive interviews, and in-depth looks at every Panthers game. Follow and subscribe to Panthers Playbook wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube.
Move your sports day forward.
36-30 Panthers over the Cardinals as they were able to close one out. Finally close one out. And where Bryce Young kind of struggled a bit, right? I mean, admittedly, he put a couple of dimes in the bucket. There's no doubt about it. But receivers didn't quite help him the way they could have helped him. And it was a very game manager kind of game from him. I mean, no one's questioning that. But he ran with the ball.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
It's The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Dennis Cox with you this afternoon. By the way, the Carolina Hurricanes, again, are in action tonight, taking on the New Jersey Devils. That game starts at 7 o'clock right here on 99.9 The Fan. It's a hockey night in Carolina. Storm Watch with Adam Gold begins at 6:30 tonight. Canes will be back in action tomorrow night at the Lenovo Center, taking on the exact same New Jersey Devils. That game is going to be coming up, again, 7 o'clock tomorrow night, 6:30 Storm Watch with Adam Gold. So nothing really different in that regard. Also, programming note for tomorrow. I know a lot of people might want to be listening to bowl games. NC State is in action, as well as North Carolina. They're both going to be in action tomorrow night in their respective bowl games. You can listen to UNC football take on UConn. That's an 11 a.m. kick. You can listen to that right here on 99.9 The Fan. We'll have the national call of that. We will have over on Mix 101.5, which is the flagship station for NC State football. We'll have NC State taking on East Carolina, that game over there as well. So we will have coverage of that over on Mix as well, so you don't miss anything. We have all the sports for you this weekend, folks, including Carolina Panthers this Sunday taking on the Tampa Bay Bucks. They're on the road. You can listen to that game, 1 o'clock kickoff, over on Buzz Sports Radio or on Mix 101.5. So all the places for you to catch all the action. But until then, speaking of all these games that we have, let's actually make some predictions. Let's go and start with local tonight. Let's go right to local tonight. Carolina Hurricanes taking on the New Jersey Devils. Carolina Hurricanes hopefully feeling a little bit refreshed, feeling a little bit better after having 3 days off. I know the New Jersey Devils the same thing. Maybe Carolina's in a bit of a disadvantageous position because Carolina could not travel yesterday. NHL mandate. Cannot do any sort of practice, team meeting, or traveling on the 24th, 25th, or 26th of December. Can't do it at all. So they had a morning skate today at Lenovo Center, hopped on a plane, go up to New Jersey. You take on the Devils tonight, then you fly back home tonight just to take on the New Jersey Devils tomorrow. Whereas New Jersey got to wake up in their own bed, gets to hang out at home before having to travel down here tonight. Give me the Canes in this one. Jordan Martinook of the Carolina Hurricanes, the alternate captain, said, to paraphrase here, we need to get back to our identity. The Canes need to get back to their identity. And the New Jersey Devils got a damn good hockey team. That's a good hockey team. You've already played them once this season. Chance to get back on the right track. Taking on the New Jersey Devils tonight. Give me the Carolina Hurricanes to win this one 4-2. 4-2 tonight. Carolina Hurricanes win this one. Which, by the way, coming back tomorrow, I know Stefan Nason has kind of had his return game already for Carolina. Dougie Hamilton's come back plenty of times. But tomorrow should be the first time, barring any sort of injury, knock on wood, be the first time Brett Pesce comes back to Carolina tomorrow. Now, I know this is the drive with Tim Donnelly, and Tim Donnelly will tell you, not me, I'm not Tim Donnelly, I'm not speaking in third person. But Tim Donnelly will tell you he hates tribute videos. He hates them. I wouldn't be shocked if there's a tribute video in some way, shape, or form tomorrow for Brett Pesce. Because it's for the fans. It's for the fans to thank the player, not for the actual... To me, players can compartmentalize. Players can do that. Players can compartmentalize. They're capable of doing that. So don't be surprised if there's some sort of thank you, Brady Shea tomorrow as the Canes take on the New Jersey Devils. But again, tonight, though, Canes win at 4-2. All right, let's actually go to the NFL real fast. A couple of interesting and games of high importance and high stakes across the NFL on Sunday, including the Green Bay Packers taking on the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota Vikings are, one, trying to win the NFC North, but also at the same time take the number one seed in the NFC and get that first round bye. I know our guy Barry down in Selma loves his Vikings and hates the fact that his Vikings don't get enough love. So I'm throwing this out there for our guy Barry down in Selma. Vikings at home taking on the Packers. Packers have an outside chance to win the NFC North. An outside chance. And they have to win this game to do so. Vikings are trying to keep pace with Detroit. So the Vikings need this one just as much as the Packers need it as well. This should be a fun one. Vikings are 1.5-point favorites. Give me the Vikings to win this one. It's in Minnesota, 27-24. That's my prediction on this one. Also a fun one. I know a lot of people around here are Washington Commanders fans. They take on the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons are trying to hold on to the NFC South. They're trying their best to hold on. So this game has stakes, just like when the Panthers play the Tampa Bay Bucks tomorrow. We'll get into that here in just a moment. But the Falcons are at the Washington Commanders. 2 rookie quarterbacks playing in this one. Jaden Daniels probably going to be the NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year, and understandably so. But it's the second start for Michael Penix Jr. in Atlanta, who, again, is trying to hold on to win the NFC South and make the playoffs. And they made a quarterback switch just last week. Now, I know they won 34-7. Michael Penix did not have a touchdown pass. But I think Penix is better this week. Give me the Falcons in the upset on the road at the Commanders. Commanders are 4.5-point favorites. Give me the Falcons in the upset in this one. 28-21. I'm probably going to be dead wrong on that one, but I'm making the prediction anyway. I stand by it. Carolina Panthers on the road at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bucs have to win this one. They're trying to make the playoffs. They're trying to actually just win the division. They might be able to scratch and claw their way into a wild card spot, especially if the Commanders lose. They can still potentially get a wild card spot. So everything is on the line for the Bucs in this one. They have to win. They know that they can run on the Carolina Panthers. They ran for 236 yards just 4 weeks ago against Carolina. And Carolina's defense is beat up. They're down multiple inside linebackers. Their defensive front, guys are going to play like A'Shawn Robinson, DJ Wanham, Jadeveon Clowney. Those guys are all dealing with injuries right now. They're going to play, but they're dealing with it. And also, J.C. Horn is out, most likely. He's doubtful to play for Carolina, their top defensive back. And Shaw Smith-Wade, their nickel back. Don't be surprised to see Mike Evans, the big, tall receiver, line up in the slot a lot, just like he did in the first matchup, and torch this defense, but also Bucky Irving and Rachaad White running all through the Carolina Panthers. Panthers, they're going to put up a fight. I see with all the injuries now on defense to a defense that already isn't good, Tampa Bay wins this one by 10. They're 8-point favorites, but I think they win this one by 10, 31-21. UConn taking on North Carolina in the Fenway Bowl, the Wasabi Fenway Bowl. UNC 2.5-point favorites in this one. This one's kind of hard to predict, but to me, UNC has a lot to play for in this one. They're trying to establish their culture early, and these guys are trying to prove something to their new head coach, Bill Belichick. UNC has a lot to gain in this one. Give me North Carolina to take down UConn. I think it's going to be a close one. 34-33. And finally, NC State takes on East Carolina. NC State, 7-point favorites against East Carolina. ECU, to me, has everything to gain. NC State has everything to lose in this one. Because NC State, you're taking on a group of 5 school. You're supposed to win these ones. You're supposed to. Whereas East Carolina can get to 8 wins this season. I still like NC State to win this one. They're 7-point favorites. In the Go Bowling Military Bowl, go ahead and give me NC State to win this one by a final score, 27-17. That's going to wrap things up for the drive. We have Overdrive coming up, including talking about that ECU NC State matchup next on The Fan.
Tim Donnelly here for Capital Financial Advisory Group. I have some questions here that you can ask yourself, and if you don't have the answers, you really need to call Capital Financial and Coach Pete. Wouldn't it be great to have an income that you never have to worry about being taken away all the way through retirement? The answer is probably yes. Wouldn't it be great to have an income that did not depend on the stock market success for your success? Again, probably a yes. Wouldn't it be great to have a plan that is designed to maximize your lifetime income? If any of these answers aren't obviously yes when you look at your retirement plan, call Coach Pete and Capital Financial right now. The number is 800-691-3215. Make sure they know you heard about it from Tim on 99.9 The Fan. Or you can text Tim,